Yes, you read that right. I low-key regret getting the American Express Platinum card, and here's why. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about the American Express Platinum card. And this weekend, I was doing some thinking and really going over all the different benefits and the big sign-up bonus that you get. And after the first year, I've now had it for 2 years. I've now started to realize that I think this might not be the card for me in 2023. So we're going to go over the 12 main benefits of this card, and I'm going to break it down whether or not I could actually use them, and then also explain the different limitations so that you too can understand whether or not you'll actually be able to utilize this card to its maximum value. So first off, the American Express Platinum card will give you 5 points back on all flights purchased directly through Amex Travel or directly with the airlines. And then additionally, you'll get 5 points back if you purchase a prepaid hotel through Amex Travel. And then everything else, you'll just get 1 point. And unfortunately, that is where it stops. My one gripe with the Amex Platinum card is the fact that Chase's equivalent, which is the Sapphire Reserve, it comes with a lot of the same spending categories. So you have your flights and your hotels, but it also additionally gives you 3 points back on all restaurants. And that's really where I wish the American Express Platinum card had added an additional category. So whether it was food, whether it was grocery shopping, or whether it was gas, I think just adding one more category would make this card a lot more appealing. Also, depending on how you like to travel, you might not utilize the bonus spend categories for the hotels. For example, I generally will stay in an Airbnb over a hotel. So I wish that they would also include the 5 points for all Airbnbs booked with the Amex Platinum card as well. Some people like hotels and other people like myself like Airbnbs. You can definitely tell that this is catered more towards business people. Most businesses will put their workers up in hotels while they're traveling for work. So if anyone from American Express is here watching this, then take that as a recommendation. Now, the one thing that this card has is a ton of benefits. And so I've broken it out by 12 of the main ones that I thought would probably be the most important to myself and to viewers. And I'll go through each one of them and tell you all the different limitations. And hopefully this will help you decide whether or not the American Express Platinum card is still worth it for you in 2023. Okay, so the first benefit that we're going to take a look at is the sign-up bonus. The American Express Platinum card is known for its big, generous sign-up bonuses. So this can range between 80,000 to 150,000 points, just depending on whether or not you get that targeted offer. And if you are looking to get the American Express Platinum card, then my recommendation would be to go into your browser, go into incognito mode, and then go to the Amex website and then apply for the American Express Platinum card that way. Oftentimes, if you don't go into incognito mode and you've visited their site a couple of times debating whether or not to get it, then they'll actually be able to track that and they'll reduce your sign-up bonus because they know that you're already interested. It's just simple business. If you're already interested in it, then it makes sense for them to continue to reduce that so they don't have to give you as many points. 80 to 150,000 points is a ton of points, and you can honestly do a lot with that. So whether you want to book free flights or free hotels, or if you want the cashback, which I highly recommend not doing, if you want to make best use of your points, definitely recommend transferring it to different airlines to get those flights for cheaper. The next benefit is the airport lounge access. If you have the American Express Platinum card, then you'll also get access to the American Express Centurion lounges, as well as 1,200 other lounges around the world. However, one thing to note is going into effect on February 1st, 2023, in order to actually have guests, so whether that's family or friends, they're now going to charge you unless you spent $75,000 in the past year. If you haven't, then you'll have to pay $50 for an adult to enter and $30 for children. So that really ends up screwing families, because if you are the parent and you have a bigger family, then in order now to actually make use of that benefit, you have to pay a lot of money, which doesn't make sense anymore. Another thing to note is that you can only enter lounges 3 hours before your flight is scheduled to take off. So if you have a really long international layover, don't expect to just be chilling in the lounge all day. The next benefit is the fact that you get gold status to Marriott Bonvoy, Hilton Honors, and any car rentals with Hertz. And if you're like me and you don't stay in hotels, then these statuses don't really mean anything, but it's still nice to have in the event that you ever needed to stay in a hotel. You could get later room checkout, you could get an upgrade to your room, and a couple of other things. For the gold status for Hertz, that's actually really helpful for me because I do like to rent a car wherever I'm going. I like that freedom of being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And so the Hertz Gold membership is really beneficial to me. So the next benefit is the $300 Equinox membership credit. And if you're like me and you live in Oregon, there are no Equinoxes. And so this is really a useless credit for me. Only 11 states actually have Equinoxes. So if you're looking to take advantage of this benefit, then make sure that you have one within your state. The next benefit is the $155 Walmart Plus credit. And I don't even know what this is. I honestly don't shop at Walmart. If I'm ever shopping, I'll be going to a Costco or a Fred Meyer's. So to me, this is another credit that is useless, but if you do shop at Walmart, then maybe this will be helpful for you. So the next benefit is the $200 Uber credit. And unfortunately, this isn't given to you all up front. I really wish that I could just have $200 and I could spend it however I want throughout the entire year. However, in order to actually utilize this, you will get $15 per month that you can either use for an Uber ride or for an Uber Eats. And it's either you use it or you lose it. For the month of December, you get an additional $5 to bring that up to $20. The next benefit you get is a $200 credit for hotels. However, it's important to know that you have to spend this at the fine hotels and resorts and the luxury collection. So this can't just be any hotels. Another thing to note is that this also requires a 2-night minimum stay. And the downsides to this is the fact that most of these hotels that fall under these two different hotel collections, they're pretty pricey. And so if you wanted to get that free hotel room for a night, you can't. You'll end up having to spend money most of the times anyways. Next up is a $200 airline credit fee. At the beginning of each year, what you need to do is go and pick one of your airlines that you want to be able to use this on, and then you're locked in with that airlines for the rest of the year. If you're flying with Delta most of the time, then obviously you would pick Delta, and any sort of inconveniences or if you have excess baggage weight, then you can actually use this $200 credit for it. Technically, you can't use this credit to actually buy a ticket, but what I found is depending on how this airline charges you, it could actually be docked as an inconvenience. And so when I went to go book my latest trip, I was able to actually get seat upgrades because of the way that they booked it. So next up is the $240 digital entertainment credit. So you'll get $20 each month for subscriptions like ESPN Plus, Hulu Plus, I believe Disney Plus is in there, but don't quote me. And there's a couple of other subscriptions that you can get. Obviously, if you like to stream and if you watch TV, then this could be a credit that is really helpful for you, even though it's only $20. The one thing to note here is to make sure to actually pay through that subscription business. So if you want a Hulu subscription, make sure you pay directly to Hulu and not through an Apple subscription. There are a couple of different streaming services where you can actually just go through your Apple account and you can get that streaming service. But if you do that, you won't get the $240 credit. Next up is the $100 Saks credit, and this is actually split up between the years. So in the first half, you have $50 to spend from January to June, and then in the second half, July to December, you can spend the rest of that $50. Unfortunately, you can't spend that $100 all at once, and to be honest, I've never shopped at Saks, so this credit is pretty useless for me. Then you have the $189 clear credit, and depending on your situation, this could actually be really helpful. So once I got to the airport and I had to actually make a transfer flight, and the security line was so long, and I knew for sure if I would have sat in that line, I would have missed it. If you've been to any of the airports, you know that there's always people there looking to sign you up for a clear membership. And so what I did was I signed up for that membership for that one day. And then when I finally got home, I actually then canceled that subscription. This is a really great benefit to have because you can just breeze through the different airport security lines. And so I think that this is a benefit that is really helpful for those of you who are doing a lot of traveling. And then last up, you can either choose to sign up for global entry or for TSA PreCheck. For those of you who are looking to travel internationally, global entry is obviously a huge win and you can breeze right through customs. But for those of you who are looking to just stay domestic, then the TSA PreCheck is just fine. The global entry is $100 and the TSA PreCheck is $85. And obviously, if you put it on your Amex Platinum card, then you'll get refunded for that. So now you can see why, now that I'm in year 2 of having the American Express Platinum card, why I'm now starting to regret having it. Obviously, the first year when you get the big sign up bonus, then it really makes it sense to have this card. But once you enter the second year, depending on whether or not you can use all the different benefits, then it might not make sense for your situation. Out of the 12 benefits that we went over above, I can actually only use 7 of them. The rest of the 5 are just pointless to me. And so now that's where I've started to really think of whether or not the $695 annual fee really makes sense for me and whether I'm actually getting my money's worth from it. Either I can't use the benefits, or the limitations just make them too hard for me to use, or maybe it's just not how I want to actually use them. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad card by any means. It just depends on your situation. In an ideal world, I'll be able to get much more value than what I'm paying for it yearly. So in conclusion, if you're able to make use of all of the benefits, then it probably makes sense for you to get this card. But if you're in my situation and there's just too many limitations, then it probably doesn't make sense. If I'm spending $695, I'd like to get more than $695 worth. And at this current rate, I'm actually just cutting even. But I'm interested to know, is this card worth it to you? And are you actually able to use all the benefits that it offers? Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. And if you didn't know of the different limitations of each one of the benefits of the Amex Platinum card, then hopefully now you do. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, then feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.